Magandang umaga po. Thank you for the generous introduction, Richard. Let me greet Rebecca of Asia CEO Forum. And it's nice to be invited to this forum, The Future of Work. I'd also like to greet a very good friend of mine, David Almirol of Multisys. He's also, well, a visionary, really, as Richard described him earlier. And yes, let me apologize first. I sounded a bit, because feeling a bit under the weather. But I really would not miss this for the world to address such a diverse yet exclusive audience: CEOs, business leaders, captains of industry, and this is a very opportune time. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to tell everyone what we exactly do, or what I do. But recently there have been very nice, excellent news for the Philippines as we continue performing our mandate. Inviting the regulator and putting him to start the show, so to speak, is a bit risque. But really, not to scare you, I just want to clarify on our role in the overall scheme of things. Are we you have heroes and villains, but regulators have often been tagged as villains. But really, in these changing times, all of us have our roles to play. So I only have actually a pair of slides to present. And let me start by showing you this. As a regulator, we do not regulate for regulation's sake. There's got to be a higher national ambition when you regulate. And I'm a firm believer in this. Your interests is the same as the country's interests, and it's the same as my interests as a regulator. So when you describe the Philippines as reaching prosperous standards by 2030, in effect, you're looking at a Philippine Development Plan of 2040. My role as a regulator with a limited term is to do what I can until 2022, which is to help lay down the foundation for inclusive growth, a high trust and resilient society, and a globally competitive knowledge economy. Is any one of you arguing against this? Of course, none. So we have a role to play in this. So definitely, a prosperous Philippines by 2040, by 2030, would be a digital Philippines. Do you agree? So digital has brought a lot of conveniences and a lot of good. So these are really interesting times. We now live in an age of great transformation. This is the generation that has seen a tectonic shift in what creates value in the world today. Whereas before, oil determines the wealth of nations, now data is the new oil. And personal data has become the world's most powerful currency. This momentous shift is happening at a pace unprecedented in human history, and we are right at the cusp of it. This has created new business models that resulted in disruptions and in the way new products and services are created and how wealth is made. The world's most valuable brands are now dominated by tech giants that have caused disruptions in the global business landscape. Facebook, the largest media publisher in the world, owns no content. Alibaba, the world's largest retailer, does not even have any inventory. With Airbnb, you can book any accommodation you wish anywhere on the planet, yet they don't even own a single bed and breakfast. What they own in common is the ability to process zettabytes of personal information and the algorithms to make business decisions using this data. Powerful computers and the internet are pushing this historic shift into overdrive. Smartphones that can be bought in Lazada for as cheap as 500 pesos have practically placed the entire world on the fingertips of Juan de la Cruz, allowing us to explore so much more, providing us with access to information, knowledge, products, and services we never thought possible. Now, friends and relatives from anywhere in the world can get in touch with one another through various forms of social media. It is now easy to book a flight, shop online using your virtual wallet, find your way through all the streets in the world, hail a ride, and order food delivery through your mobile phone. Health data. So Ricky there, Ricky, he's into that business, Ricky. World Source team. Health data sent via online result to faster diagnosis and treatment. Cash can be had in an instant via mobile lending apps downloaded from Google Play. And you can pay your bills quickly through the Bayad centers of PLDT powered by Multisys. That's correct, right? This digital revolution is sweeping through industries and governments and empowering citizens all over the globe. This revolution is powered by technology that can collect, use, store, and share personal information, and the growing internet connectivity that is sending this information across borders at broadband speeds. This information consists of your name, your address, birth dates, emails, your gender, your mobile numbers, your health record, images, real-time location, biometrics, shopping habits, online searches, and many more identifiers that can be found and processed by just using your smartphone. Every time we go online, perform a search, make a purchase using our credit card, and use our mobile phones, personal data is recorded by someone, somewhere. Whenever we go online, we leave digital crumbs or trails that provide clues and insights on our preferences and choices. Companies claim that this allows them to improve their services. But this also means your data could be put on the trading block, where your online persona, including your interests, insecurities, your goals, fears, and desires, are sold to advertisers who pay to be able to track and target you better. Advertising remains the most viable model on the internet. And behind everything that we do online is advertising. And our personal data is used, traded, and sold to make it all possible. Suddenly, we are no longer the customer. We have become the product. By amassing personal data, companies and complete strangers suddenly get to know more about you. And the more someone knows about you, the more influence and power they have over you. Using analytics, they can influence our behavior and choices on what we buy, when we answer the phone, when we look up at our smartphones, and even whom to vote. Also, when you lose control over your data, in instances where someone uses your image without permission or uploads an embarrassing financial record like an unpaid loan, they can paint a totally different image of who you are and diminish your worth as an individual. Recently, we have a spate of cases involving companies that offer quick loans to consumer by just downloading an app on your mobile phone from Google Play. You can have 5,000 pesos, 10,000 pesos in just 10 minutes. And all you have to do, well, as they claim, is provide them with your personal data and ask permission on what other type of information they can get from your phone. So unknown to many, they actually gave permission to these companies to access their contact list. And not only that, when we delved deeper into their technology, we realized that they were asking far more information from a customer, like real-time location, access to your phone, remote access to your phone. They can actually control your phone, right? So by the time that, well, our complaints range from when somebody fails to pay on time, then they get humiliated and embarrassed by very disparaging comments and remarks sent to all their contact lists, saying that this so-and-so is such a bad person, he doesn't pay on time, please tell him to pay us. So you have quite a, not only quite, but really we got inundated with complaints about these companies. And pretty soon, we will be coming up with our determination on the possible violations of these companies. So you see, when false assumptions are made about you and posted online for the judgment of the mob, or spread using your own contact list, then your entire future is actually jeopardized. Add the threats of bodily harm inflicted by cyberbullies or outright identity theft that has caused untold anxiety and pain for countless victims around the world. Indeed, personal data put in the wrong hands produce real harm to people. It could harm you forever because the internet never forgets. But let me remind you that there's a bigger potential for good in using personal data. Large data sets can be utilized for health research, plan future cities, smart cities. I saw last week, was that last week? But our friend here, David Almirol, went to the city of Manila together with PLDT Chair Manny Pangilinan. I hope they're talking about smart cities and how to convert Manila into smarter cities, but definitely I think that would be on the road ahead for the city of Manila. It can also be used to manage scarce government resources. Information in the cloud could be easily stored and accessed, managed and communicated. And when converted to knowledge and insights, have resulted in great leaps in healthcare, government services, and more efficient transactions. These have brought tremendous improvements and modern conveniences to Mangwan and Alingwana. These benefits must continue. And while there's a growing concern about privacy, the quest for innovation should never stop. This brings me to my next slide. At the National Privacy Commission, we're quite clear on the road we're taking. And this is our key purpose for regulations, basically to enable widespread trust in businesses, to enable widespread trust in your businesses, which we thought is really the basis of a healthy, sustainable, and a growing economy and would be the bedrock of the Philippine Development Plan. Just imagine if people don't trust the businesses, because businesses cannot be trusted with their data. Just imagine people will go back falling into line, going back to pen and paper, won't use the ATM anymore, won't pay through Bayad Center. We don't like a future like that, right? Besides, when we enable widespread trust, then employment can be assured. Regus is one of the largest office and workplace leasing company. Would attest that, again, when there's widespread trust, more employment, as more businesses will open, that will result to social stability and ultimately encourage everyone to continue innovating. And then the cycle will go on. So we are not here to disrupt the disruptors. We're just here to remind you that yes, we are all marching towards the same direction, but you have to be reminded, right, that trust from the consumers ultimately is the biggest goal for everyone. The Data Privacy Act of 2012 upholds the right of data subjects while ensuring the free flow of information that will spur the country's development and growth. This concept is equally important because while it is recognized that data privacy is a fundamental human right, it is not an absolute right. Our data privacy law, through the National Privacy Commission, strives to strike this balance between privacy, the free flow of information, and the people's right to know, balancing the right of the individuals to the needs of the larger society. Maintaining this balance is vital in establishing widespread trust among data subjects, businesses, and government as we all march towards a high-trust, resilient, and knowledge-based society. Artificial intelligence, or AI, big data, machine learning, robotics, and the Internet of Things have arrived. These nascent technologies offer new and exciting possibilities that can enhance the lives of Filipinos. We can expect that more of our personal data will be collected, sent to the cloud, packaged, and ultimately sold. Assume that our ability to control our personal information will become more and more difficult. There's a growing need for data privacy because it is not about secrecy nor hiding a wrong. It is about having access and control over our own information and the right to maintain that space that shields us from the increasingly unwanted intrusions and manipulations. It is the right to genuinely exercise our power of choice, where we can choose whom to trust and grant access to our own data, because it is only us who truly holds the key. Thank you and good morning.